Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to The Secret Stage, a Scarlet Rhapsody podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to The Secret Stage. I am your host, Jared, the awesomest host for this podcast. But with me are the two second most awesome hosts, Miguel and Ramses, tied for second, which is pretty awesome in my book. How you guys doing?
I don't know. I'll gladly take third place because Miguel is the awesomest.
Now we know our rankings.
He's got a babe, that's why.
Been a crazy week on the Scarlet Rhapsody side of things. Between hospital visits and major projects that we're not allowed to talk about, and projects for the site that we're trying to get up as quickly as possible. It's just been really, really crazy over here. So it's nice
We're building a cyborg.
Yes. Wait, no, we're not. Totally not. Totally not making super advanced robots. That's not what we're doing. That's why would you even say that? That's crazy talk, Ramses. Crazy talk. It's crazy talk, people. Don't let people know our secrets. But in addition to that, we had 2 live streams yesterday. The Splatoon one, which I highly recommend watching. It is on the YouTubes now. Yeah, when everyone was trying to boot up, apparently.
It's like you get to suffer with us just as you. If you were there suffering trying to play Splatoon in that hour between 3 and 4 o'clock, you get to suffer with us. We've suffered with you. Well, I enjoyed myself tweeting at Twitter.
I was just being a snarky jerk. That was good enough for me. Sure thing, Miguel. What have you been playing? That seems pretty awesome. So not a bad game to play. What about you, Ramses? What you been playing?
Oof, I got a lot. Actually, I don't actually. Actually, I do. Now that I'm thinking of it, because I played. There's a separation between a lot of things I've been playing on my computer and also on my phone as well. So first things first, let me talk about what I've been playing on my phone. Finally, after so long, they finally dropped Mortal Kombat X onto Android. Really good game. I highly recommend it. If you got an Android device and you got Mortal Kombat and you want to unlock some of the cool costumes in that game, I highly recommend you getting that. They also dropped this cool little game that I think that everybody should check out. The free game called Galaga Tekken.
What?
It's basically, you heard me, it's Tekken with Galaga.
What?
It's Tekken with Galaga.
Now hearing about this.
It was supposed to be an April Fool's joke, but the April Fool's joke was so good that I think just made the game flat out.
Okay, I may have to download that. I don't usually play games on my tablet or my phone, but I may actually have to download that.
And one game I started playing, I remembered I owned this game, and I own it not just on my phone, but also on my computer as well. I've been, splitting my time between both of these versions. I've been playing called Knights of Pen and Paper. Oh,
they should have that available on Humble Bundle. Just had that as part of their RPG Weekly bundle.
Yeah, it was. I remember they had it before on another bundle, and I never really downloaded it until recently.
Mm-hmm.
Really good game. Really, really good. I highly recommend it if you want like a simple like RPG with like a simple JRPG with like a Western RPG like aesthetics. Like literally to the point where it's like literally it's just guys in a room playing. Well, things are going off in the background. It's a really fun game.
Okay. And interesting concept.
Okay, so one of the things, I don't know if you saw like last week, but Amazon had like for 2 days only, they had so many games available on for free.
No, I see that. That makes you go into my sad place.
Yes, and one of the games that was right there, and I've been putting in some time on it. Unfortunately, is Five Nights at Freddy 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's more annoying than it is like scary.
Yeah, because it's really more about dealing with the events and crap like that rather than dealing with the one robot you had to deal with.
Yeah, it's more like the circumstances of that one robot that's causing you all this trouble, instead of just being like instead of you trying to worry about, instead of you like micromanaging like who's gonna come out or not.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else I've been playing a lot of Skullgirls. That's totally fun to play. Under your recommendation, Jared, sometime back I actually picked up Republic Commando.
Oh, the game is a lot of fun.
It is really a lot of fun, and also I remembered I own Battlefront, and somehow someone found a way to find a way to actually play like server-based games on their own personal servers.
Oh.
So they found a way to revive the online services for both of those games. I've been playing a lot of online. I've been spending my time online on those two games.
Nice. I didn't realize that there were any servers running for Battlefront, so I didn't think it was a point to ever playing it again.
Well, there you go. Now you have a point.
Now what you do is get back to the West Coast and get my disc. Sweet.
Yeah, that's all. Actually, I can tell you how. And then I've been playing. Let's see. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 2 because I was running some tests on my computer that I've got some RAM. Mm-hmm. And actually, it went better than I expected. And I just one day when I was just testing out Borderlands 2, I just started to sit down and I played it for like a couple of hours, just flat out.
Okay.
I played a little bit of Goat Simulator because that game's insane.
Yeah, why?
And it's like, I mean, as you saw the video, as I was talking about earlier, I was playing a little bit through the Arkham games to test out how the games were for streaming and stuff like that. I ended up falling into a trap of playing a little bit of Arkham Asylum, Arkham City for a good chunk of time.
I feel like we need to do a Let's Play with Jared commentary Arkham City thing.
I'm debating to seriously do that now. I've been debating to not only do that, but actually like I'm seriously debating to like do it. Playing a little bit of Rise of the Incarnates as well. Good game, but it's like I'd rather play Gundam Extreme Versus.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Rise of the Incarnates is a 2-on-2 arena fighter kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a new hot thing that Bandai's been pushing recently. Let's see. A lot of pinball effects games. A lot of Star Wars tables I've been playing a lot of. Also, I realized that I also own a lot of tables from like Marvel, and I've been playing a lot of splitting my time between the Marvel tables and the Star Wars tables. I think I like more the Captain America table, but that's because it's a bias on me because I like Captain America. Yeah. And the way they set it up is actually really cool. And trying to think what else I played. No, not really. That's about it, really. It's
a good variety. My list has been kind of weak. Like I said, this has been one of those weeks where a lot of stuff has been going down, so not a lot on my list. I've just been playing a lot of Pokemon Shuffle because it's just the easy pick up and play. It's a toilet game, I believe is Ramsey's term for it.
The shitter game.
Yeah, where you can just get on the toilet and just play a couple rounds and then move on with life. It's been a nice break when I need to just take my eyes off the computer screen and look at a smaller screen. Okay, whatever. But anyhow, I'm at a point now where I've beaten all 21 expert stages and collected the Pokemon from each of them. I have beaten all 190 regular stages, and I have S-ranked all but 3. So yeah, I'm dominating this game like it's some sort of gimp tied to a chair, just to make this unnecessarily sexual. So yeah. It's a nice little distraction that I've been easily tearing. Well, not easily. Some of these S ranks have been a pain in the butt or just pure luck based, but whatever. And it really makes me want to do that primer video to help people who get stuck at Mega Marvel, so people can kind of do what I've been doing and enjoy the game. 2, I've been playing a game I picked up on one of the recent flash sales. It's called Mass Effect. I'm not sure if people are familiar with this franchise. No. I'm a huge fan, but I never played 3, and it was the Mass Effect trilogy for $5. And I was like, well, I'm buying 3 for $5. And 1 and 2 I had on Xbox, and this is on my PlayStation, so I'm like, oh, screw it. I now have all 3 games on PlayStation for $5. I've been replaying through 1, I've been playing a FemShep Biotic, and kind of going a little more neutral, what I call the pragmatist route, which is, I'm not doing every answer to Renegade, I'm not doing every answer Paragon, I'm just kind of like, whatever I feel a pragmatic person would do, that's kind of what I'm doing. Where the ends would make the best results.
I think that's a good way. That's a good way of playing the game at first. Just don't look at any guide. Don't look at anything. Just go with your gut feeling. If you think it looks good, then you choose that answer, and then afterwards you start going through the insane route. Because I think that's the part of the surprise of how you play a game like that.
Well, for me, I mean, my first playthrough was kind of like that way anyways, when I played on the Xbox, and then my second playthrough was Renegade, my third playthrough was Paragon, and then I went through Paragon again to beat the game on Insane Mode, which I did do, and I don't know if I'll do it again, because even with a high-level character, that gets pretty annoying to do some of those side quests that you really want to have some completionism going down. But technically, you only have to do the side quest if you really care about the story differences. You only have to do the side quests that associate with Part 2, and there is a list of those. So, if you're playing through on Insane Mode, there's a lot of side quests you can just skip. But enjoying that again. I forget how much I enjoyed this franchise. I like the universe and how well just thought out it is, despite the fact that it has the plot of almost every BioWare RPG. It is a lot of fun, and it's just a great game, and I'm actually looking forward to going through 2, which is a lot more of a shooter, and then eventually getting to 3. So, feeling happy with playing that again. I officially rage quit Mega Man 9. I will come back to this game some point, but not in the likely near future, because fuck that game and its insane level design and its pain in the ass gameplay. I have grown it.
Some gameplay things should stay in that era, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's a lot of good about Mega Man 9, and you do feel accomplished when you actually beat a level, but I can't even finish the 8 Robot Masters, so that game can go suck a cactus's balls. Because, I'm sorry, I've beaten every Mega Man game, with the exception of the ones I haven't played, which would be... no, excuse me. With the exception of 7, which I got bored with when I rented it, and 8, which I never played. So, yeah. 9 kind of pisses me off on a personal level. And I know I'm not like... I might be a little rusty, but by now, those skills should be back. So, yeah, the game just sucks. However, I do have 10, because I got both during one of those... 9 and 10 together for like $4 or whatever it was on the Golden Week sale. And I've heard so much positive stuff about 10 that part of me just wants to just skip ahead to 10 and play 10.
Well, I think with 10, I think they have like easy mode, and it actually kind of is like, have you ever played this game in a while? No? Okay, well we're gonna put some training wheels on it, but not too much.
Mm-hmm. And then I played a little Atelier Aisha. I've been slowly going through that game. I got to a point where I either have to make the long trek back to my home base to sell items and create some new items, or I'm gonna have to just like man up, sell off a bunch of junk, hope for the best when I go do the next part of the story. So I gotta flip a coin on that one. I think I'm gonna man up and just go to the next part of the story, since my characters seem to be fairly well leveled. And the only things that have given us trouble are the optional bounty missions. So other than that, everything else I've been doing main story has been fairly easy. So I think I could just sell some junk and move on. But man, the games that are really built around item crafting, you collect so much random junk when you go to locations, and the whole purpose of that random junk is to make other stuff. So it's selling stuff becomes this really difficult thing where I'm like, well, how much do I have any of this stuff in storage? Okay, I do. Okay, then I'll just sell all of it off because I have 22 pieces of, fur in my storage already. I don't have this type of fur though, so I need to keep this kind of fur because it could be better than the previous kind of fur I'm using. And yeah, item management gets a little crazy in this game, and I'd say more so than it has been in any of the previous Atelier games. Yeah, but I can go hunt things down. Well, technically in this game they don't have, at least thus far, I've seen no crafting things that require multiple. They might require multiples of an item, but it's not like that extreme. It'll be like, oh, you need 2 units of fur, but then there'll be like 4 or 5 different fur options of whatever kind of furs you've collected. However, side quests get to that point where it's just like, I've done several times where I go up to a person and they have like a little side quest, basically a request to make or gather a certain item. And it's like, oh, I need 20 units of, consumable items. I'm like, oh good, because I just sold all that bread I made because it didn't have enough healing bonus. So good to know I just sold off like the 15 units of bread. That would mean I'd have to make 5 more units of bread, which wouldn't take that much effort. Now I gotta make 20 units of bread for this jerk. Great. I wanted to go out and buy more flour and go and spend the time to make 20 more units of bread. Wow, who needs that much freaking bread? Also, there's a bakery in this town. The money you're gonna pay me is probably greater than the cost it would cost to just go to the bakery and just pay that guy. I will pay you 2,500 gold for 20 units of bread. You do realize it costs like 100 a piece over at this bakery. Actually, no, take it back. I could just spend the money at the bakery. I'll only make 500 profit, but whatever. At least I didn't have to use my items. But it definitely has those little moments sometimes where it's like, dude, you could go to the store and pay less than that for the items at the store. You're just lazy.
This is running a lot of Secret of Evermore.
I never played Secret of Evermore.
It was good, but it was like it was resource management hell at times. Where it's like, okay, in order to do a spell, you need to do X, Y, and Z. You need to kill X, Y, and Z to unleash this to do the spell. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like spells that like you need mana. No, it was like alchemy, where it's like you put in certain things into a blender.
Yeah. The Ultima games have that too, and certain versions of D&D. And it drives me up the wall because I'm like, yeah, I need my inventory is like, I'm a mage, so now my inventory is 90% filled with a bunch of useless stuff that by themselves are useless, but if I ever want to cast a specific spell, I need to have them.
Yeah.
Instead of having, regular healing items and being able to have room for any treasure you find, nope, it's just your pocket impact of free. Mr. Miguel being all Mr. No. Let's focus on what we're supposed to focus on and not complain about item resource management in video games.
It's a video game related.
Okay.
Fine.
News?
Yes, Dad. Good point. Well, this is a good sign that you can be a good dad. Anyways, keep going. Good point.
Eventually, they'll just be Jared and Ramsey's play a game and complain about resource management. Okay. News is kind of weak this week because E3 is in like 2.5 weeks now, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Somewhere around there. So yeah, not a lot.
I may have an announcement about that later.
Okay. The first thing is EA did recently announce, and I assume we'll see more of it at E3, that their next Need for Speed game is going to be an open world game, which means they're right ready, finally, after all these years, capable of competing with Burnout Paradise, which came out like 10 years ago.
And also, they made by the same guys that they brought out.
Yeah, it's made by the company they just bought out. So,
well, they just brought out, but they brought them out some time ago. But still, it's like, jeez, look at them kicking the fucking balls. God,
it's one of those weird things where you look at this and I go, guys, the open world thing should have come out years ago. I know you're trying to do these weird these basically Fast and Furious rip-off storylines for your games, but you really should have just done the open world thing a long time ago and ditched the story. Because my favorite Need for Speed game, and it will likely always be my favorite Need for Speed game, is the original Hot Pursuit. I've played hours upon hours of that game. It had weather effects. You could be a cop. You could be a cop in a souped-up car if you actually took the time to unlock it. You could do standard races. You could do point-to-point races. You could do escape the cop races where you just need to be the last man standing. They had some really, really cool options in there. It was a lot of fun. And guess what? It didn't need a storyline. I didn't need to know why I knew why the cops were chasing me. I was going 90 miles per I was going between 90 and 120 miles an hour. That's a pretty good reason for cops to chase me. That is an incredibly good reason for them to chase me. It is super dangerous to do that. And they give me a massive ticket. So...
Well, the only other one I played that I can make some sort of opinion on is I played Need for Speed Underground 2. Why? Because I was left here in my house one day.
Oh.
And my friend never claimed it.
Oh, always a good point when a friend leaves something behind and never calls you. Goes, oh, did I leave my copy of such and such there? It's like, nope.
But my friend's the type of guy that like if he forgets, if he knows that he forgot something, he'll buy the game again.
Huh? That's
he's one. Yeah.
So it's like I have enough money to throw around to do that.
He does. But like I said, that was the only one I played. That's somewhat open world.
Okay.
But that game also kind of...
Ramses? Oh, great. Ramses just... Oh. You there, man?
I think a full-on, like, I do wonder how a full-on, like, you know, open world game in style of Burnout Paradise would work. But at the same time, you know, if I wanted to play a game like that, I'd just go play Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
I own it.
They're gonna have to add something to make this game really unique, other than the fact that there hasn't been a new Burnout game in, you know, a decade.
Yeah, and unique for Speed game that hasn't like shat the bed yet.
Yeah, I think the open world idea is not that great an idea. I'd rather just a really cool, easy to do game modes like Burnout, not Revenge, 3, Takedown. Was a lot of fun just because you just selected your mode and then you just wrecked your car. You selected wreck your car mode and you did the wreck your car mode. You know, Revenge and Paradise both had their own pros and cons, but for me, 3 was always the best just because I could just quickly select the mode. Plus, it had local, not talented DJ Striker in the game somehow. And we were completely shocked how, like, local, not talented DJ Striker was on there. And we're like, is it a different Striker? No, that's his voice. How the hell did he get the voiceover job for this? It just confused us. Yeah. From K-Rock from back in the day, back when he did that. A guy who got his job because he's related. Yeah. I liked Revenge. Okay. Well, EA is trying to compete with them after all these years. I don't know how well it's going to work out for them, but, you know. Well, no, because isn't Burnout done by Activision?
No, it's EA. It's done by EA.
Well, then that's just stupid. Damn it, EA! Then I hope that...
Well, this isn't the first time where they're like, we need to compete against ourselves.
Yeah, I know. Well, Battlefield and Battlefront are going to do that as well, so...
Well, not only that, every other goddamn sports game is like, what's going to sell more?
But here's the
Madden or FIFA?
They don't release Madden and, like, trying to think of another sports announcer, whatever. They don't release 2 different NFL games. They release only 1 NFL game. Now, they release a new one every year and, you know, what have you, but it's not like they have multiple NFL games. And I know people say, well, you know, Battlefield and Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline are super different. I go, not really.
No.
In fact, every review I've seen have said, no, they're not. They're essentially the same game. One feels more like a mod than it does a sequel.
Yeah, one is a really good mod. The other one feels like a complete game that hasn't really shut the bed yet.
Yeah, most things I've heard about 4 have been very positive. That basically, here's what I hear of 4. 4 began out rough. They fixed the problems, and now 4 is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing 3, and that's the one that I based on. But I also played Battlefield Hardline.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I like what I played, but I think it's because I never played 4. And I think I used it a lot from 4. I'm pretty sure if I played 4, I'd be like, yeah, it's the reskin of 3. It's a reskin of 4 Hardline.
So,
but anyways,
I don't know. EA, stop competing with yourself. Just stick to one racing franchise. I may highly recommend Burnout, because Burnout you can crash your car, and that's part of the game. That's part of the fun of that game, is how awesome of a wreck you can pull off. Versus Need for Speed has always been about trying to make really realistic car stats, but it never got as realistic as like a Gran Turismo. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
I think Need for Speed was good for its time because it's like, yeah, this is as close as we're gonna get to it. But we have Gran Turismo, we have Forza, we have all these other great games that.
Yep.
So yeah.
That just can't believe we got that much out of that topic.
Sorry.
For what? No, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to discuss this. It's just kind of funny how we can do the breakdown of EA's mistakes. And you know what? I'll continue on the EA news here with EA executive Frank Gibeau is leaving after 20 years. His most recent position was executive vice president of EA Mobile.
No wonder.
Well, no word on what his next project is, but his line when leaving was very positive. He liked his time with EA, and he wants to work on new projects. And EA's line about him leaving was very positive as well. So I get the feeling that he just made lots of cash monies, and he's like, I want to do something new and different and fun, something that'll make me more happy than being part of the Council of Doom. I think it's one along the lines of like, yeah, I like working for EA, or like, yeah, the money's good, but I don't want to be stuck in mobile for so long. I mean, you did mobile for 20 years. He was with the company for 20 years. Mobile.
Well, I'm pretty. Well, I think too. It's like, you know, even working like 3 years, that does take a lot out of you.
Yeah. So I can see someone wanting to step down, and I'm glad it's a step down of, everyone's cool versus, stepping down and because of some infighting or because of bad company policy. So.
Whoa, sorry about that.
Man, you got a little Konami in your throat?
Maybe.
Phlegm? Not Konami, I meant phlegm. Phlegm. Like, phlegm and Konami are so similar to me at this point that it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to slightly more positive stuff. PSN has a donation section up for the Nepal earthquake relief. If you donate, you get a free background theme for your PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. So it's kind of a cool little thing they're doing. It was up last time I saw. Hopefully by the time this episode is up, it is still going. I can't imagine they're just going to put it up for a week. I hope it would last a little longer than that. But that's kind of cool of them. And you can find previews of the theme online. It's essentially these nice looking little mountains and stuff. And it's all cute and cartoony. It'll make you feel warm fuzzies in the inside.
Yeah.
Also, of note, Pac-Man's 35th birthday just passed. I assume it was on the 22nd because they threw a huge party in Chicago on the 22nd to celebrate.
Actually, it was on the 23rd. It was yesterday.
Oh, it was 23rd? Okay, I thought it was 22nd. Well, whatever. 23rd in Chicago, they threw a big, huge party. And also, there's an update on the mobile versions of Pac-Man, both the paid version and the free version for this anniversary. And heck, if you're paying attention to some of the sales on PSN, they had Pac-Man Ultimate Collection or whatever on sale recently too. So it's been a very.
Steam also had. Steam recently had Steam put up Pac-Man Championship Edition DX for $2 something yesterday. I think it still is.
I'll have to double check if that's still up because I actually wouldn't mind a grab.
Oh no, it went up.
Oh. Pac-Man's one of those things that's just part of my childhood, and it was just one of those games I really enjoy. Just I'm gonna space out and play some Pac-Man. I'm not one of those insane people who can go through every board. I'm just a guy who likes it as a kind of I'm just gonna rest my brain while playing some Pac-Man. Heck, if I had Pac-Man on my DS, that would actually probably be my most go-to thing. Because it's I need a break from what I'm doing. I'll just do a couple boards of Pac-Man. Okay, I lost. Whatever. I need to check the Nintendo shop to see if they have any Pac-Man themed games for the DS. That'd be nice. But yeah.
So I have that Pac-Man and the
Funky Bunch.
Yeah, Ghostly Adventures.
I want I want regular old Pac-Man or regular old Pac-Man with some of the other variant Pac-Man in there. Actually, you know what I'd prefer? Ms. Pac-Man. That has the alternate boards. I like the alternate boards. And Pac-Man Jr. also, yeah, Ms. Pac-Man and Pac-Man Jr. Both have alternate boards, and those are the ones I actually prefer. Doing the same board over and over again gets old, but having alternate boards always keeps me interested. So.
The one that I've always been interested in, and the one I might end up picking up on sale again.
Yeah.
Is Championship DX.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I like all the different modes in the Championship version. I never owned it, but I played it once somewhere, maybe E3 or something, and just seeing all the different game modes, I was like, ooh, there's a lot of game mode options here. Continuing on, and we'll stay positive before we go back to some of the dumber news. Oculus has announced that they will not stop production of pornographic apps on the Rift. So VR finally has a reason for existing. Porn. Good old-fashioned porn. So, I might have... because pornography sells any new technology. That's why VHS succeeded. It's why DVD succeeded. The granny stuff's part of what makes porn awesome.
Well, look at me! I banged on my cable box and prayed I got to see something on Cinemax.
This TMI moment brought to you by Ramses, as opposed to all of their TMI moments, which are also brought to you by Ramses. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool of them to be like, we're not going to be like or morality police with our device. I'm like, yeah, don't be morality police. No one should be morality police unless, you know, the amoral thing you're doing is like hurting someone. But if it's just, hey, we're going to sell a product, and if people own a Rift and they want this product, good on them. And, yeah. If you're gonna set up something where your Oculus Rift explodes when you turn on the app, yeah, that's unethical. But yeah.
If it's gonna show me boobies, I'll take the boobies. Yeah,
well, that's just amoral. That's basically what people would say. And morality and ethics is the difference. And morality goes against whatever, you know, social norms there are. Whatever. It's a smart move for them, and it actually makes me more interested in getting the device. Not because I would get it for that reason. That's just what amoral people do. As a moral person, I would get it for games or whatever the hell else they're putting on there. I don't know. I don't care. It's gonna have boobs. Which I can also have in real life, come to think of it, but whatevs!
I don't, so you know what, this is a plus for me.
Or, Rift plus a person, virtual threesome.
Or how about, you know what, I'm just gonna shut up before I dig myself into a bigger hole.
This could go really bad, like, we need to do like an after hours blue show, just me and Ramses, and how bad we could take this.
Oh yes. It was gonna involve midgets, but okay.
Oh. Okay, we will move on before we become an X-rated podcast on accident. In the world of, well, of course, it has been confirmed that PS3 Arcade Sticks will work on the PS4 version of Ultra Street Fighter 4. So for the 5 people who will be picking that up, your control sticks will still work, so good for you. Are we all waiting for 5 at this point? Does anyone care about Ultra?
No, not really, because it's like, we discussed it before.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about the tournament community. My bad. Yeah. Sorry, tournament community.
But the thing is, too, from what I've been hearing from someone, from like what they've been doing with compatibility in Mortal Kombat X, it could need some work.
Oh.
You still need your other controller to move around. Like, you can play the game, but to move around like actual options and stuff like that, you need your actual controller.
Oh, that's weird. So when you're going through the menu screens or whatever, you need the controller, but then when the game says fight, you can use your control stick?
Yes.
That is odd. I figured that they'd just make it completely compatible with everything.
Exactly.
I'm sure they patch that in later, but they should have had that immediately patched. That's weird.
Yeah, you
that's true. Right. Just have a little touch screen thingy. Huh.
option.
Okay. Yeah, that could be problematic as well. Okay, well, I see. There's probably some way they can tweak it around a little bit. I hope so. I mean, just for sake more than anything else.
Let's see. But yeah, that's about it. I don't think you put this on your. I don't think you had it on your list. But speaking of Street Fighter 5, there was a trailer for Bison.
Yeah, I saw that. And supposedly died. He's in a lot. He isn't in one. He's not in one. He's not in three. No, he's not in.
No. No.
No. Oh, Dictator. They're showing up Dictator.
Dictator. Yeah. But no. But well, so still call him Dictator. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well, just like I said, like the only thing is like he doesn't feel he doesn't. I feel like they're missing a few things with the character. Like he doesn't have a Psycho Crush or anything like that. That's the only thing I'm disappointed.
Just because they didn't show it off in the trailer doesn't mean he's not going to have it.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my quick little thing on Street Fighter 5. Anyways, keep going.
Okay. Not a huge surprise, but Take-Two and by association Rockstar is suing the BBC for their upcoming GTA series under trademark infringement reasons. I kind of saw this coming because the creators of GTA were not happy with this new series, and for those who haven't heard, the BBC is going to make a kind of a drama series based around the early days of Rockstar, the release of GTA, the controversies with Jack Thompson, and in our previous episodes we talked about how Daniel Radcliffe and Bill Paxton have both been cast, which is kind of cool. I believe this is happening because the creators of GTA are not hugely happy with this show and their lack of input on it. And I think it's one of those kind of ploys of, we're going to screw with your production because we're unhappy, less than a whole, hey, they're using our IP in a TV show. And I'm sure this will get settled out of court.
I also think too, it's like
that's my theory on it. That's my general theory on it. That's what it's all about. Is just we want more control in this series. What about you, Rams?
Yeah, I think. So I think I was gonna say one of the things that should be noted is that since they have no input as to what anything to say about the production, a lot of the production a lot of the things they might be saying or one of the things that might go down with the series might give people the wrong impression as to what was going on.
Yeah.
And this is like, so it's like, for example, if they touch up upon the controversies as to what happened with like the hot coffee mod or something like that, and if they don't get the information right, then they could be held liable. If not, they might have BBC Take-Two might be able to sue for slander. Because like, no, that's not what happened at all.
But that would have them go through the full series. I think more of it would just be kind of a PR nightmare thing for them to have to deal with again. But if they can have at least some influence of trying to keep things under control, and that'd be closer to the year. I don't know what time period they're taking in the creation of the GTA series either. If they're taking around the 3 time period, or if they're going earlier than that. I don't really know. That a lot of those details haven't been announced. But I understand why they want a voice in this, and that's probably what they'll settle on. Is okay, we'll let you have our copyrights, but we get to have some creative control here and have our story told accurately, or at least told in a way that's not going to make us look bad. Which I don't think was their plan.
Yeah, because that's.
I think the BBC wants to make them the good guys in this. You don't introduce Jack Thompson as a character and make the game designers the bad guys.
Well, not just that. It's like a lot of what happened with the actual production of GTA heading towards 3 and forward.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was kind of shrouded in mystery as to what happened. It's not really well documented what was some of the decisions they made and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's for example, the BBC might have a surface knowledge as to what happened, but they don't have the full entire story. And I'm pretty sure like they only show what's only publicly known, and that's the point I'm trying to get at. Was like they don't have like that inside information that they should know to give a more accurate depiction as to like what's been going on.
Yeah. So I think it's more of a fight over that, but the only way they could sue them was because of copyright-related reasons. So we'll see what happens. But my theory is this will get resolved out of court, and Take-Two or Rockstar will have more of a say in the production of the show. That's my theory as to what's going to happen. Continuing on with companies, and stuff. Xbox will be adding very slowly more 360 games to Xbox Live. That's really great, especially from a company who said backwards compatibility is backwards thinking. So yeah, congratulations, guys, for realizing you guys were completely wrong. It just took you a few years to figure that one out. And odds are most of these games in the 360 downloadable lineup will likely be made by Microsoft and Microsoft associated companies, just because that just seems like what Microsoft would do. But if you have an Xbox One and there's some 360 games you missed out on, maybe they might get releases. I've heard the Fable games are going to get released, so that's good. Yay, Fable. Not a fan of the Fable series, people. Versus how Sony has been very accommodating with their classics. You'd think that Microsoft would have taken a page out of that book, but nope, didn't do that until now, and God knows how few games will actually get released there. So, way to catch up with the times, Microsoft. Kudos to you. The most sarcastic kudos.
Yeah, I'm reading up on like what's going on. Basically, what it is just emulated on 360 on an Xbox One. The only way you can play it is through downloading the game. Yeah,
that's how I understand it as well. And which means your old games aren't going to work. It's just if you want to download a 360 game you missed along the way, you have the option of that. Or if you want to buy a game again. Hell, I've done that a couple times. Cough, cough, Symphony of the Night. So, yeah. Cough, cough, Final Fantasy. Yeah. Yes. I have as well. Knights of the Old Republic. Picked that up a couple times. Once for PC and once for Xbox. So I have a couple other games in my list on that one, so it's not like I haven't done that before. So and I'll probably do it again whenever there's another PSN sale that has some of the classics. I'm like, oh man, I totally want to play Final Fantasy Tactics again. Hashtag no, I don't. Tactics 1, as fun of a game as it is, did not age well. Because I dug that out of my PS2 a while ago, and I was like, oh man, this did not age well. Its controls are really awkward. It's really the bigger issue than anything else. And its balancing is warped. But continuing on, we got two different stories. Got to flip a coin on this one. I think I'm going to go with the more exciting one. Then we'll do the one that caused Miguel to get a little irate. So, Nintendo World Championships, if you haven't heard, are coming back at this E3. Huzzah! Video Armageddon is going to conquer Los Angeles. But not with Ninja Gaiden and a mystery game, sadly. But that would be mystery.
California.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. We're the generation that grew up on the movie Wizard. There will be Wizard references in this.
Sorry, I had to make the joke.
The qualifiers, for those interested in going to this tournament, will be at Best Buy, because Best Buy has done a lot of promotional stuff with Nintendo over the years. Not a huge surprise. It'll be on May 30th, and it will be using the Ultimate NES Remix, and it will be featuring the game in the championship mode, and it will be featuring Mario, Mario 3, and Dr. Mario as your qualifier games. So if you feel that you're good at some of the classic Nintendo games, and you got a Best Buy near you, and there's supposed to be quite a few locations, so I feel sorry for anyone who lives like in Nebraska or something.
Only 8 locations. Only 8 locations are supposed to have this.
Oh wait, only 8? Never mind. Yes. So good luck finding the location, because odds are it's probably not near you.
Yeah.
But if you
let me run them off. Nope.
Do you have the list, Ramses?
Okay, yeah, I have the list right here.
Okay, it's go through
First one is at 1717 Heritage.
Okay.
Yes.
First one?
The first one is at 1717 Harrison Street in San Francisco, California.
Okay, San Francisco, no surprise.
3635 Pacific Coast Highway. 3635 Pacific Coast Highway in Torrance, California.
Oh, Torrance. Well, good for them.
Yeah.
It's the middle of nowhere, California.
10760 Northwest 17th Street, Miami, Florida.
All right, Miami. So Pitbull can enter.
Let's see, 900 E Gulf Road in Saddleburg, Illinois.
Good. Everyone lives near Saddleburg. So that's a very convenient location.
Let's see, 12905 Creek Boulevard North, Maple Grove, New Mexico.
The heart of gaming.
5001 Northern Boulevard, Long Island City.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, Long Island, New York.
5001 Northern Boulevard, Long Island City, New York.
Yeah, that's so convenient. Even if you live in New York.
No, Long Island City.
Where the hell is Long Island City? I assume that's on the Long Island itself, but it's not a convenient place to get to. But continue. Yeah. But again, not a convenient place. Continue.
9338 North Central X, Dallas, Texas, and 2214 South 48th Street in Tacoma, Washington.
Okay. Is that the whole list?
That's all of them.
So Ramses would have to take like what? I get a 2-3 hour drive to go do it. I'd have to take a good 6 hour drive to do it.
And y'all would only have to do like a 10-minute commute.
Here we go. Torrance.
The one in Torrance, 3635 Pacific Coast Highway. I think it's the one that felt like. I think that's the one off the freeway, like in Torrance.
Yes, Stan can enter.
Yeah.
For me and Ramses, they're all just like way off. It's just like, oh, screw that. I'd have entered just to like tell the story of like. They said if one was in Boston, I'd take the train down. I'd go because there's a train down by a Best Buy near Fenway. I'd train down to Fenway. I'd go enter it just to do the qualifier, just to see what it was like. I suck at. Okay, I've developed more extreme color blindness over like my lifetime. So what I used to be really good at Dr. Mario, now blue and yellow look exactly the same to me. So I suck at Dr. Mario now. It just happens to be.
Well, the trick is to do the infinite, to try to do the infinite, like the one-up trick in Mario 1.
Yeah. Well, it all depends what the Mario challenge is. You know, if it's just
getting. No, beat the first level within the allocated time. Actually, no, it's like basically how it works is basically beat this stage, then beat another stage, and then whatever time left, you need to accumulate points in Dr. Mario.
Okay. I could beat the first 2 stages. That'd be no big deal, but my color blindness is gonna screw me on Dr. Mario. So.
But that's why I says like it's preferred that you actually do a lot of like the high scoring stuff in like Mario 1 or Mario 3.
Okay.
That was actually.
Basically, everyone else is like, no. You score points really slow in Dr. Mario. Screw that. Build up your point score in the other games.
Yes, that's how it basically works.
I could do that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, with that tip, I could have done it. Unfortunately, Long Island for me is a 4-hour trip down to New York City, and then another like 1.5 to 2-hour trip to Long Island. So yeah, not doing that. Not taking 6 hours to enter something where I'm likely not going to enter the competition. Thanks for those convenient locations, Nintendo.
But I also think too, the reason why they did it at such limited locations is that they need to make sure that okay, is this guy cheating? We have to have like officials right there just in case, tiebreakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're also letting in, I think, 700 people or something like that into the final tournament?
I think, I want to say it's a lot less. I want to say it's 50?
Well, if it's going to be that less, maybe they need to know it. But I don't know. If they expanded it to 15 locations, so I could have a Boston location, or at least something remotely in New England.
Because I don't know, I wouldn't know how it works. Look, I was too young to remember the original Nintendo World Championships.
I wasn't.
And the only thing I'm going off of is the fucking wizard.
Oh, you watch the Angry Video Game Nerd episode. That's actually a really fun one.
All right, but like I said, I played enough of the version in the game that's in Ultimate Remix Ultimate Remix to know like what basic idea of how things work.
Yeah, Pat the NES Punk does a really funny video where he just gets completely crushed in the score challenge, and then Angry Video Game Nerd has a team up with Pat where they talk about how stupid the cartridges are because of how limited. It's funny. I'm not going to ruin what they do in that one, but yeah, watch the Punk versions of those videos. Those are actually a lot of fun. But I'm going to move on to my final story here, so we can move on to our free topic, which was a story that kind of like got an emotional response out of Miguel for some reason. Sony will be offering
here we go.
Their E3 press conference for free at movie theaters. You have to reserve your tickets on May 27th for select theaters around the country, where you can sit in the theater and watch the Sony press conference. And this upset Miguel.
A lot.
Wait, don't tell me. Never piss off. I hope you have damn good health insurance. Well, if you ask me.
Annie.
Dude, popcorn, soda, Red Bullets. Wait, especially when you can stream it on your computer, and I'm fairly certain you can stream it on your PlayStation as well.
Yeah.
Because I remember last year, and several of the years thus far, since I've been doing, even before you've been doing a video game podcast, whenever they had it available for streaming, I had it streaming in the background while I was doing other things like cleaning or playing video games or whatever. It was just streaming on a laptop or my computer, and I just listened to it. And if there was something important that was like, oh, that's a game I care about, then I would pause or put down whatever I was doing and rush over to the screen. But otherwise, it was just there in the background. Well, like I said, I do that for Nintendo's Directs on my DS. I just have my DS playing it while I'm doing something else, and then if they go to something interesting, I lean over and go, oh, okay, that's cool.
Well, the thing is, like I said, like the reason why they did, like my counting argument, I'm not gonna argue that what your thoughts were wrong. I actually totally agree with you. It's just let me tell you what their logic is. Their logic is the only way you're gonna be able to watch this is if and make sure that you get the fullest experience from seeing these games is if you see it on a 4K screen, since it's gonna be streamed exclusively on the 4K.
I'm now curious to find what the closest theater is for me that has that, because the two theaters that are close to me are not going to be 4K. Yeah, we were looking at those at Fry's, and even the ones that Fry's had on sale were still super expensive. But bear in mind, yes.
Hold on, I you are completely wrong. I found a 4K TV for $500.
Nice. That's a really that's a really good deal. I'd buy that.
That's a Walmart. It's a Walmart. It's a 49-inch. 49 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
it's like that's like, oh god, I'm so sorry for convincing you. I'm so sorry.
I'm not gonna have a 4K TV, nor am I. Well, I might.
Go on, go. Okay. 3. Yeah. It's like the gears are turning in Miguel's brain. I just close it down. Let me bring it up one time.
Okay, I'm going to say this for both you guys. Also remember that during the PS3, they made the PS3 have 3D compatibility with 3D TVs, which no one has.
Oh, the refresh rate 60 hertz.
Yeah. So 3D TV failed, but they still put it there as an option. And 4K, whether it succeeds or fails, that's the future to tell us. And it can be supported through Blu-rays can actually hit that number and stuff like that.
Not just that, but like for example, that's a good refresh. Like you were asking about the refresh rate, it's 60 hertz. All right, never mind.
Gelfine trying to fall off that team. Oh, for sake.
Okay, Miss.
I know I should stop this talk, but it's very very amusing to me.
It's like you're trying to fucking upsell me on this. It's like I'm like I feel like you're selling me something at Best Buy right now. So show me.
My point being that showing stuff off for the 4K is doing one, Sony sells 4K TVs, I'm sure, so trying to sell 4K TVs to people, and two, showing that the PS4 is future-proofed versus, say, an Xbox One, which is having difficulty doing 1080p, let alone the 4K level.
Well, another thing I wanted to mention was like we had a person that actually went to see that. When we did our last E3 show, we actually had Andrew, who actually did go to one of those. Actually did.
That's true, he did, didn't he?
And he said he touted how impressive Uncharted 4 looked. But to me, when I saw it, I was like, I don't give a shit about how Uncharted 4 looks. So it's like
it looked like good graphics, but it wasn't something that would blow me away. But you're right, on the big screen, it probably would.
So it's like I don't know, like you might like you're right, Miguel, on your mentality, but it's like I think it's like, for example, if they're trying to push something really hard of a game that's like visually spectacular, and they know they don't have enough people to see it, that is a good way to do it. Again, I'm not gonna say that what they're doing is right also, but that's just their mentality.
I was about to say that. If there was some sort of bonus, even if it was something really small, like your $20 thing was a bit bigger than mine. I was gonna say, even if it was some sort of like you get the special E3 Sony PlayStation theme or something, or you
an icon.
like an icon or something that I can put on, and so people look at my thing and it's the actual E3 image or whatever, and people are like, oh cool, you got the E3 image. Then it might be, even like I said, even if it was just something small like that would just be a 10K download onto my system. That's kilobytes, people, not like 10,000, but like a 10 kilobyte file just kind of going on there. That in and of itself would be at least a little thing where I could, slight bragging rights, I guess. Or if it was like, oh, if you go, you will get the special beta code for whatever the next big PlayStation
Uncharted 4.
thing. Yeah, which would be great because I have a PS4, so I could totally beta that. But if it was something like that, I think, like even something like that, just a beta code or something, would be a slight more incentive. But then again, if it is playing at like my theater down, it's a couple stops on the train from me, maybe it's free, and if I have my morning open that morning, I don't know.
No, it's the afternoon.
Oh, it's afternoon? Okay, that might throw me off then. Mornings is a little bit easier for me than afternoons. But it's something where, if it was close to me, I might actually consider it just to say that I did it. I mean, it's one of those kinds of things. And that doesn't go that far, especially since we've been considering doing a Jared and Ramses, or Jared, Ramses, and Miguel, immediately react to the press conferences. So...
Oh, it's a surprise!
Oh, was that supposed to be a surprise? I thought we were discussing that because it was, kind of going to be kind of a big thing if we decide to go for it.
Well...
Versus our normal E3 shows that we have to do as two-parters.
Well, I was thinking we do that in conjunction with what I wanted to do, with just like I just riff, or one or more of us riffs on the actual conference, and then we just come back and reconvene. Because I was thinking about streaming the press conference on our live stream.
Okay, well, like I said, it's something we've been discussing, but regardless, I'm not saying I would like to look up the information for what the closest theater is to me. I'm not saying I would, depending on how far it is and how much effort I have to put into it. I fully get where you're coming from, Miguel, the effort side of things, when I can just download, stream it on my computer or stream it on my PS3 while I do other things in my house and not waste 2 hours of my life at a movie theater and not see Mad Max kill a bunch of mutants. So I fully get where you're coming from with that. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
For the sake of being there, it might be kind of interesting to try if it's close enough. And it's free, so at least that. But that's just to kind of put a button on all this. That's essentially all my news. So if you guys have any other news things, we can go to our free topic. Finally, the Mushroom Kingdom will finally fall.
By the way, he's in it on the joke as well. No, but Miguel,
one of the Koopa Kids or something, or
maybe it's Bowser Jr. grown up.
I think it's global marketing. Okay.
He worked in it.
So yeah, he's a pretty good business background.
By the way, apparently he's in on the joke, because apparently there's a picture that just popped up. He has Mario and Luigi tied up.
Nice.
Stuffed Mario and Luigi. So he's in it on the joke.
I like that. That instantaneously makes me like this guy. Him and Reggie are now going to be my what I refer to as my Nintendo
Reggie
buddies.
and
Having never met them.
Reggie and also what's his face? The other guy. The other guy that does stuff as well. And not Iwata. The other white dude.
And what isn't a white dude?
Yeah, that guy. But yeah, Bill Trennan.
Yeah. Maybe I talked over you, but you can say it again.
Yeah, Bill Trenton. Like him, Trennan, and Reggie are just like the trifecta of amazing.
Yeah.
They're self-aware. It's like they have to have fun.
And I think that's why I like them. Of all the executive staff people, all the different companies, they're the ones that always stand to me as the ones who are so likable. And I'm like, adding in Bowser and then having him do the little Nintendo joke, that's just more points in that book. Where I'm like, yes, I like this lighthearted, fun kind of thing. It's the difference in the press conferences. And then Nintendo Direct, you get Iwata and Reggie like fighting each other with like crazy martial arts moves to promote Smash Brothers, versus the Sony one, which we were just talking about, where it's just guys in suits going like, PlayStation sales have been very good. And here are some upcoming games based on some of our most popular franchises. You know how much I want to see? Sakai and, I don't know, whoever the dude from Sony America is, like battling each other as a promotion for PlayStation All-Stars Battle 2 or something. It'd be amazing, but they're not going to do it because they don't have a sense of humor at Sony. And Xbox has, and Microsoft has even less sense of humor than Sony, if that's even possible. So that's why usually the two things I look forward to at E3 is whatever Nintendo has streaming, and my friends at Ubisoft, because they actually get a comedian to help promote their stuff. And Aisha Tyler is funny and sexy, which is an awesome combination in my book. And she's super tall, which is kind of cool, because that way you can see her tower over everyone at Ubisoft, and I find that highly amusing.
And it's even funnier when you got like a really short, like French guy.
Yeah, and she's just like towering over him, and it's just like, please, lady, do not eat me. I am French. I am already afraid.
It's like, what was I gonna say? I always remember like last year during their press conference, they were talking about this game, and like I swear to God, like the French Peter Dinklage just came out, and here's Aisha Tyler.
She's already like 6 something, so
yeah, so it's like
that's to begin with.
And I think she's also wearing heels as well, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's like, oh man, it's like that's very intimidating being on that stage right there with a. I wouldn't be intimidated because like I'm pretty sure she can like
full giant.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think she just embraces her height.
Yeah.
That's what she does. She's like, I'm tall and I'm gonna wear heels. Not gonna play it down.
Exactly.
My heels, I am 6'6".
Yeah, it's good. It's, like I said,
People like doing the Mecha Shiva thing in order to reach my height.
but yeah, but like I said, like it's really good that he's in on the joke and like just it just proves that like Nintendo. It's like no matter how they screw up, they're really cool about things.
Yeah,
like what happened yesterday. Like we were playing the global like multiplayer demo.
Tune.
Yes, Platoon. They're like, we screwed up. Here's an extra hour, guys.
Yeah, our bad. That's why you gotta love Nintendo. They have a sense of humor and they know how to make the fans happy. They know they're like, oh, people are upset. Well, we're gonna add another hour. We've gotten things fixed. Have at it. And
they've been
you know
slowly
if that was Microsoft, they'd be like, you missed out on the hour? Well, screw you. We're Microsoft. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, not just that. For example, like when it comes to situations like, for example, like recently they've been giving, like I honestly believe that it's starting to get a lot easier to find a lot of the amiibos.
Yeah, they're trying to reach demand, which is really smart of them because people don't want to drop like $50 on getting, a Marth or something. They don't want to drop $50 having to buy Marth because now it's super in demand. If they just make more Marths, guess what? You don't have people scalping anymore. It's the same thing where I wouldn't be surprised if they made more of the limited edition new 3DSs just because I think when they saw that scalping thing, like, oh, no. You're not allowed to do that for products. Sorry. That's not how Nintendo rolls. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see next time they do a new 3DS bundle with a limited design where they will make a larger amount of them just to avoid that scalping thing. And I think they're doing that with the amiibos. They're like, no, you're
they've been scalped. I can tell you this right now. Someone showed me some information of Greninja, who's going to be the next exclusive for Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Every store is guaranteed at least 200 of it.
Now there you go.
Yeah. So it's like that. So I think that's a very good number, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, is that all the news you had on the go? All right.
Yeah, you want one because I missed that one somehow.
You want to talk about the things I talked about, or you want to go to your topic? Because I think we're starting to time wise.
We can move on to.
Because I think these next two things. Well, one of these things they can be really quick. The other one, like, that might take us a little bit.
We'll do the quick one, and we'll save the other one for another show where we need a long-term topic.
Okay, the topic we're talking about is like some of the sets got revealed for LEGO Dimensions, and it included franchises such as Back to the Future, Doctor Who, The Simpsons, Portal, Scooby-Doo, Jurassic World, Ninjago, Chimera, the Lego Movie, Lord of the Rings, yada yada yada. If you love it and there's a Lego set of it, they're gonna make a set for it, and they said the game is gonna be virtually future-proof for all versions of the game. So
which is really cool.
Props for Lego.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was it started like a Ramsey's topic, but what ended up happening was they announced the voice cast list for Saint Seiya Soldier's Soul. Not for America, but for Latin America. And what was one of the great things is that since it's Saint Seiya based, they got all the original voice actors from the original cartoon who did it back in the 90s, and they brought them back to do the voices for this game as well. This marks the very first time for the Latin American market that they did an exclusive dub for a game,
which is really cool, actually, and not something you would expect to see.
Yeah, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that they got a lot of voice actors that are amazing. It's so iconic in my ears.
Yeah, well,
that
when I went to see coming from with this, when we were talking about it earlier, and you referenced, well, they've Dragon Ball Z, they get the American voice cast of Dragon Ball Z. But here's the deal: Dragon Ball Z, those actors are all still there at Funimation. Well, most of them are still there at Funimation, and whatever ones have left, they have since replaced. Here's the deal, though. Saint Seiya, when was that dubbed? Like 91, maybe?
Like early, I want to say 90. I think I got the dub. They started airing the show in 92, 93.
So that's quite a bit of time to be able to have to regather all those actors again. versus.
And some of them have unfortunately, some of them have unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's everybody that's been doing the replacement voices as well.
Yeah. So things like that. It's kind of cool to see something because I doubt there's any. If they made a brand new video game based on something we had in America around the late '80s, early '90s, I doubt we'd get the same voice actors. I really.
Yeah. I'm trying to. Go on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that. But that was one of the very few times.
Disney
Unfortunately, it's the only one they had to replace. The only one they had to replace because unfortunately he passed away with the voice of Gizmo Duck, but everybody else is still the same.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Disney.
But
very, very good about that. That is the one thing that Disney does really well. Is they're like, no, we're
yeah, and that was I think that was more of a mandate by Disney than it was by Way Forward. I'm pretty sure if Way Forward had their way, they wouldn't even put voice acting. But props to them. And actually, now that I think about it, Disney tends to go for the extra mile anyways when it comes to those types of things. It's like, look at Kingdom Hearts, for God's sakes.
Well, there's also a few people who did replacements, but it's usually for the big name actors. Although some people came back, so I think James Woods actually voiced Hades again.
He keeps on coming back, and that's what I love about it. But I'm saying it's like they get what's his face, that guy. The guy who plays Sora.
Oh. It's really weird though because when they had Haley Joel Osment voice Sora, he was 15, and now Haley Joel Osment is older than me, which I didn't know was possible that someone younger than me could actually age older than me, but Haley Joel Osment actually achieved it. So now Haley Joel Osment's in his 40s, I think. So it's when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, and he's like, "Hey, Riku, let's go fight the Heartless." And he's like, weren't you a teenage boy in the last game? Yeah, totally was. But that game came out 20 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Freaking Kingdom Hearts games, bro. It just come out way too much space in between them. I've just aged to 50. This is what I sound now.
That's if you want to know more, you gotta play the Vita game, the 3DS game, and the 5 mobile games we got coming out.
Not really.
Anyway,
what's the girl? Girl was voiced by someone who actually became a star as well at this point. Shoot, who played Girl? It's gonna kill me. I don't even remember the girl's name. There was the girl.
Kyrie.
Thank you, Kyrie. I forgot who voiced
Kyrie.
it, but it was actually someone who went off to.
Let's see. Hayden Patterson.
I don't know. I don't remember if Mandy Moore actually voiced. I think she did a voice in Kingdom Hearts. I just don't.
Mandy Moore was Yuffie.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Kind of makes Yuffie slightly hotter. It's awesome. I like Mandy Moore.
Hayden Panettiere.
That's what it was. Oh no, you're right. She's doing nothing now. So no, she can still do Kyrie. So that'll be good. Hayden Panettiere's career went up really, really fast and then dropped just as quickly. I don't know if she just did a lot of drugs or if she pissed off the wrong people. I don't know why Hayden.
Well, she's in Nashville, so she's rolling in the Nashville Skrilla right now.
Oh, is she a country singer or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Good for her. I'm going in high pitch voice. That means I'm very, very, very excited about that. That's what that means when I do high pitch voice. It's clearly excitement. It's not pity or sarcasm. It's just excitement. Oh my god. And speaking of Disney and cartoons, this kind of brought us to our free topic for what time we have left in the show, since we got on a lot of tangents, but who cares? Slow news week. We're gonna get tangent, folks. That's what we do. We were talking about video game cartoons. And one, the crazy rights required to actually get Captain N onto Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, because watch. Okay, so obviously Nintendo has to clear all their characters. Obviously, the only
just why not?
So, but that's an easier hurdle. That's kind of an easy hurdle to pass. The next one is you gotta realize what another character in that TV show was Mega Man. But Capcom's been a little bit more easy. It has been a little bit better with giving that reverse stamp of seal of approval to put Mega Man in better things. They've been doing stuff. They've been doing a lot of good things with Mega Man since apparently they got in their head that's like shit, Mega Man is important. We gotta.
They put him in.
Yeah, and apparently they're like
releasing the various Mega Man games, so they're showing some respect to the Mega Man.
Well, not just that. Yeah, so it's like it's not that they completely shat on him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they did for a while, but I mean, it's also evident that they're kind of self-aware on a lot of things that's been going on. That's why it's like they're sort of on a redemption right now, trying to they kind of
Capcom likes money.
Now the last one, oh god.
Simon freaking Belmont.
Simon Belmont, and time to go to Castlevania.
Yeah. Good luck.
And not only that, there's episodes where they actually do end up meeting like other characters from other games.
Yes, Sypha is a guy and an old man instead of a woman. And I think they take on Dracula in one episode.
Yeah.
And I thought there was one other Castlevania reference. They ruined his character. His character is nothing like he is in the games. He also looks nothing like he does in the games. He has blonde hair for some reason, even though he's never had blonde hair. And he has these weird goggles. Well, because you'd have to redub a bunch of stuff, which means they'd have to hire actors again. And that also costs a lot of money. In fact, it could cost more depending on some of these actors. And if some of these actors have died or moved on or sound too old, it's going to be all weird when it's just like, hey, Wyman Selmont, how are you doing today? It's just going to sound really weird.
And not only that, there's also something else you need to talk about. This was done by Deke.
Yes, that was the thing I was going to bring up, which is Deke things get complicated.
Yeah, because Deke had the rights to it, and then that Deke folded into Cookie Jar, and now they got folded into DNX Entertainment.
Yeah. So a lot of the Deke things are basically gone.
And here's a list of all the things that
it'll be difficult. Now, certain things have, however, because they do have the Super Mario Super Show on DVD, and they do have the Super Mario 3 Adventures on DVD, I believe.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not sure if they did Sadam, but I think Sadam is also on DVD finally.
Yeah, Sadam is definitely on
I just can't remember if that was Deke or not if they did Sadam.
Yeah, they did.
That was Nelvana.
That was Deke.
Okay. So at least some of those things have come out. What makes Captain N a problem is, again, all the things that... Not only that, but all the various worlds they go to. Because they go to Bayou Billy World.
Bayou Billy, Bo Jackson's Baseball, Burger Time, California Games, Castlevania 2, Castlevania 3, Donkey Kong 2, Dragon's Warrior, Crack's Attitude, Final Fantasy, Kid Icarus, Marvel Madness, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, Metroid, Nemesis, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Paperboy, Puss in Boots, Paydo's Great Adventure, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Solar Striker, Super Mario Brothers 1 and 2, Tetris, Wizard of Warriors, Zelda 1 and 2.
That's the whole list of games they go to, folks. So there is so much weird licensing to deal with that I'm wondering how this series got made in the first place. I'd actually like to just a documentary on how that series got created. And who was the really high character designer that made half the characters look nothing like they did in the games? Because even Mega Man looks completely wrong. Like, not even remotely close to what he's supposed to look like.
It was deep. Well, I'm not going to complain at this point. They were kind of the... You know what they used to call him, right? They used to call him done on the cheap.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, done and cheap. And there are people who will still... I mean, heck, anytime you hear the Sailor Moon original English cast, talking about it, they will talk about how just amazingly cheap they were on that production, and that's why there are weird little flubs. And
by the way, there's a lot of those voice actors are in this show.
Yeah, and a lot of those voice actors are amazing. And actually, some of them were in some of those shows because the guy, one of the directors, who also voiced Grandpa and a few of the monsters, I think, was the voice of Toad. And I actually got to talk with him and feel like Toad is my favorite character from Mario Super Show, and thank you for being part of my childhood. Because that, to me, means so much more than Sailor Moon is the Mario Super Show. I'd wish original actors who played the live-action Mario and Luigi, like when, which was Mario died? And that made me, I think it was Mario that died, and that made me all...
Oh yeah, Captain Little Dano, unfortunately.
Yeah, he died, that made me all sad.
Yeah, Captain Little Dano.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, Luigi also died too, which was as well.
Shit. Yeah, so I mean that hurts me so much more in terms of like childhood programming that actually meant something to me. I love the Super Mario Super Show. As cheesy as it was, and how every episode was essentially a parody of a movie or what have you, rather than trying to turn the world of Mario 1 and 2 into some sort of continuity. Like, screw that. The Mario Brothers are just having adventures that are parodies of different movies. So your Indiana Jones parody, you got your Mad Max parody, you got your, I think they had a Godfather-ish parody kind of thing, or like a Mafia, like an Untouchables kind of thing.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'd have to go with a list of all things. I haven't watched the Mario Super Show in a long time, but I just remember watching it as a kid and not getting a lot of the references. Then it was being reran on USA Network or something like that when I was in junior high or high schoolish, and I stumbled across it during the summer, and it made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's referencing this movie, and that's referencing this TV show. And I love how super referential Super Show is. But I think when it was aired in that version, it was a version where they cut out the live action segments. And that was the one thing that I was like, no, I want my live segments. Because it was show episodes from original Super Show episodes and 3 episodes. It was set up for like they do a 3 adventure and then they do a classic adventure. And it was on.
Is this also the version where Millie come out?
With what?
Yeah, Millie Vanilli came out in an episode of Mario Brothers.
That's a 3 had the Millie Vanilli episode.
That's the only one. So that was the one that was like more grounded, where they kept on wanting to go into like the real world and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love the fact that like 3 had weird dimension jumping and stuff like that in it. I thought that was kind of a cool thing, and I love a lot of the background stories I've heard about the work on the Super Show and 3, and probably Mario World as well, actually, since I assume it was the same production. Yep.
Yes.
With dumb caveman and Yoshi and everything. It was great. Cheesy, folks. Don't ever go to these thinking these are really great adaptations. They're great because I have nostalgia, and they had a lot of referential humor and stuff like that that I, as a movie nerd, really love. So to me, those series, I'd love to just marathon through those. In fact, I know they had Super Show on Hulu or Netflix or something a while ago, and I just didn't get a chance to watch through it. I don't think it's on anymore. But I need to grab those. Yeah, I don't think it's on there anymore, because I think I was looking for it recently and didn't see it. But who knows? They rotate stuff on Netflix all the time.
Actually, it is still on Netflix.
Oh, I'm totally watching that. That'll be my dinner.
That's on my list. That is definitely on my list right now. Oh.
Yes. just all the feels.
That is definitely on my list.
All the feels, folks. But you know the one thing that's kind of... I recently watched, I don't know, recently, it was like 5 years ago. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of that, and I was like, man, I don't think I could sit through this entire series. But for some reason, like, it's Mario was so much fun because of the references. Zelda is a fairly decent fantasy show if you take out the fact that it's Link and Zelda. If they were named anything else, and Link, Zelda, and Ganon were names not used, like none of the Nintendo names were used, it was just a fantasy adventure show, I think I'd like it a lot more. It's just because Link is not acting like Link, and Zelda is actually acting exactly like Zelda. I've always seen Zelda as kind of a bit too snobby for her own good. Considering how often I've had to save her butt, she does not deserve to have that kind of attitude that she has in the games.
She has a huge chip on her shoulder.
Yeah. The only one I'll give excuse to why she can behave a little more snubby and what have you is Ocarina of Time Zelda, because she becomes badass. So she's badass enough to have a little bit of an attitude. So let that slide. But like, and Tetra, I'll give Tetra some points on that too. Tetra can be a little have her attitude too. She was a pirate queen, so that's pretty awesome in itself. So whatever. What I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think the Legend of Zelda cartoon would be a bit better if it just was a generic fantasy cartoon. And that's my opinion.
It's an amazing video by Peanut Butter Gamer. He actually reviewed the first episode of the Legend of Zelda, and he put out a lot of things.
Yeah, like how Link is really, really obsessed with violence.
Yeah, it's like,
what? But when you put it, listen, how much he really enjoys killing the monsters. That's true. I never saw that. He also recently did a review of Defenders of the Realm, Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm.
Oh, no, that was Pro Jared.
Oh, that's for Jared.
That was Pro Jared, but still, that was a good one too.
I liked
that was
one
good
because when I got Mortal Kombat 9, my little brother was kind of into it, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a cartoon based on it. He's like, really? I'm like, yes, and you have to watch it. And we watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I forgot how poorly animated that show was until I rewatched it. Like, the voice cast is pretty decent. The storyline they have is a follow. Oh no, yeah, we played the game, we watched the movie, then we watched the cartoon.
That's how you should be doing it in 1992.
Yes.
1994.
I gave him the entire 94 experience, and after watching like 2-3 episodes, he's like, I kind of want to watch the rest of the remaining 9 episodes because the series is so terrible. And I'm like, I know, and at the same time you don't because the series is so terrible. I liked all the characters who end up showing up as cameos in Defenders of the Realm. Always was awesome to me because you got to see Cabal, Cyrax, Sector, Kano. I think Baraka's in an episode. Shiva's in an episode. Motaro's in an episode.
Like I said, wasn't Shang Tsung in it in an episode? Because I know he wasn't the main bad guy. He was
Shang Tsung appeared, and according to Pro Jared, it's the first appearance of Quan Chi. I didn't realize that, but
yeah, I didn't know that either. Yeah, and but you want to know something really interesting about that show? And also all those shows that were done that were aired on USA. Okay, so as you know, they did 3 TV shows based on video games. They did Wing Commander Academy,
which I love, and it holds up, people. You can actually watch it. The animation is real well done. The voice acting is great. Watch Wing Commander Academy. You don't even need to have any knowledge of Wing Commander to enjoy it. Just as long as you like space adventure, you'll love it.
Yeah. Street Fighter. Yeah. Oh God. Street Fighter.
Oh, the chuckles that come out of people who've seen that cartoon.
Oh yes. All I need to say is go find a Final Fight episode. As a matter of fact,
that's amazing.
As a matter of fact, you can unlock that in Final Fight Double Impact.
They have the episode, really?
When you beat the game, you get that unlocked. That is your reward.
That is the ultimate reward.
And then another show that's actually unrelated to those video games was Savage Dragon.
Well, Savage Dragon was a comic book series, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's unrelated in video games.
Yeah.
But they all had something in common.
Oh, you're talking about the
episode of the Sphere!
The Sphere episode of the weird dimensional traveler guy.
Yes!
Yes, I watched all 3 of those, but not in the right order.
Yeah.
I remember not seeing them in the right order, and I was just like, oh. Because like Wing Commander's like the end of it, but that was like the first one I saw, and I was like, that was a weird thing. And then I saw like the Savage Dragon episode, I think, that had him. I think they aired them in the wrong order is what they did. So he was in all 3 episodes, but not in the right order. So it's just like I saw the ending, then I saw like the middle, and then I saw the beginning. It was very Memento.
Yeah.
Watching his story backwards. And I always thought that, like, is this a character from like a comic or something? Or no, it was like an original guy they just came up with to doing 3 other shows for some reason.
Yeah. They were like, we need to do something with all 3 of these shows that are unrelated to each other in every way possible. But they're all on the same goddamn network. That's the key.
The one of those 3, the one show they had on there that actually featured dimension traveling, Mortal Kombat, does not cross in because it was done by a different animation studio.
Really? I thought it was.
Was it as well? I thought it was only Street Fighter, Savage, and then Wing Commander.
No, anyways, keep going.
Okay, maybe it was, and maybe I just never saw that episode. I'd actually like to watch that saga again, just for the credit. Actually, the Savage Dragon cartoon, they got away with a lot of stuff in that I wouldn't have been... I'm actually surprised in retrospect they got away with, including the fact that you can see Savage Dragon's butt in the opening sequence.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually got away with some stuff there. I mean, granted, in the comic, they get away with a lot of weird stuff. Someone recently, on one of my comic groups, I know this is Bizarre Files, we're just going to do this real quick, posted an image of Heavy Flow. I'm not even going to describe what this villain is, or what her... But someone posted that and said, this cannot be real. And someone said, not only is it real, she's a recurring villain in Savage Dragon. And I was like, Dude, they didn't do anything in that series. That series the comic is freaking insane. But the cartoon, they got away with a lot of violence and a lot of skin showing in that series that I'm surprised they got away with. And granted, I was like in junior high or something, high school or something when that came out. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was junior high when all that came out. And it was just kind of a surprise how much they got away with on that show, considering how much they had to cut out of Mortal Kombat. You know, no one dies, no blood. Street Fighter even touched on some heavy themes, but not. I mean, just vaguely touched on heavy themes. Although I do like the episode where Vega's afraid he's losing his looks and he's like flipping out, and I thought he was gonna like just stab some of the women that were with him. All these women like flirting with him, or like he's gonna just go murder spree on these girls, isn't he? And he doesn't. Spoiler. But Vega, I liked him just like having his flip out, like, holy crap, he's gonna like beat these chicks. And so they're capable of going kind of dark with those USA cartoons. I really liked those. And I'm sure some of them don't hold up. I know Ultra Force does not hold up. And I know Mortal Kombat does not hold up, but I liked Ultra Force for what it was. I actually liked the Malibu Comics characters. I did not entirely like Malibu Comics, although I did read the Street Fighter comic, so I'm apparently somewhat masochistic. But I liked the concept of the Ultra Force characters. Then when I got to a certain point of looking over the characters, I was like, oh, wait a second, all of them are rip-offs of, and I could immediately list who each one was a rip-off of. And I was like, I could just read Justice League instead. Or I could just read the Avengers, which had a very similar lineup of characters as well.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to do more research. I should have. It's just one of those things where I should have done I should have done my.
This is kind of an esoteric thing to look up.
Yeah.
But I know that like some of the show specific, the series specific.
Yeah, it actually did all 4 shows.
Okay, it was all. Oh, so it did have all comment as well. I just don't remember that episode. So that was kind of a cool little thing they did. Although I'm barely starting to watch it out of order, and I missed one of the parts. So
okay, so it's Street Fighter. He first appears in Street Fighter, then he goes to Mortal Kombat, then Savage Dragon, and then ends in Wing Commander.
Yes, because they used the orb to make this one planet a paradise planet. And then he's like, I need to save my world. It's like, when you save your world, you'll destroy this one. And he's like, crap. Plus, I've been traveling for like probably hundreds of years at this point, so yeah, that's probably saving my world's pointless at this point. I'll just be the protector of
So basically, go on. Mega Man sucks. Okay, question. Has anyone watched that cartoon?
I will show you that.
Dude,
No, okay.
I have the power.
No. I have a question. You're lying, people. Okay? Okay, so you're just inherently evil? Is that the idea?
There is some amazing. There's a clip montage of out of context lines from the Darkstalkers cartoon on YouTube, which is freaking hilarious. And I think one of my favorite ones is like, I never expected a cat girl to be in my room, and I'm like, man, I've always expected a cat girl to be in my room. It just never happens. Oh, is that actually part of the story?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I need to watch this again. Maybe she can't sing.
I don't know. But like I said, the greatest part about that show is that Lord Raptor was the innovator of rock rap way before Limp Bizkit.
And he was slightly better than Limp Bizkit.
Exactly!
I would actually like to watch that cartoon again, just for silliness sake. Because it's one of those ones where, how did this get made? Mortal Kombat was super popular, so I get that, but like Darkstalkers has never been popular. I don't know how this made it, other than that it's an excuse to have like a zombie and a vampire and a cat girl and
well, I think that's how they sold it. Like
mummy and stuff like that all like fight each other.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty much how they're in a board meeting. They're like, okay, we can they're like the guys who are making Mega Man. They're like, okay, Mega Man's popular, Street Fighter's popular. We need to put lightning in a bottle again. How do we put lightning in the bottle? What is that cartoon? What is this game about? There's a lot of weird things happening. We want to adapt this into a cartoon. Now hand me that line of put that line of coke right down there and okay all that.
I think it was probably just because they're like, hey, no one really knows this series, but all these monsters people know. People know what vampires, werewolves, mummies are, so we can totally just have them fight each other. I think that was where it was. They could just go on that whole "we have monsters" bandwagon thing.
Yeah.
Except for a bandwagon. You know what? What's one of my favorite ones? It was originally an anime. Most of these are... Actually, I think all of them we're talking about are American productions. But the one anime video game one that always was kind of nostalgic to me, and unfortunately someone had to play the opening sequence for me again, and then made me like realize how much the opening sequence is really terrible. Monster Rancher.
Oh!
I love that Rancher cartoon. That really crappy Monster Rancher rap opening theme song they have is like painful. Just go back and watch that and you're just like, oh god.
But the cartoon's actually not that bad.
Yeah. I like the Monster Rancher. I like the Monster Rancher characters. I like the team they had. The team was just such a fun, upbeat show, even for how dark the plotline was and how dark some of the revelations are in the series. It was such an upbeat show because the main character is like, hey, I'm in a magical world of monsters. Let's just have adventures. It's like, we're trying to save the world from this like demonic adventures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
And like the most powerful being is a goddamn penguin that uses flower petals.
I love.
True.
Well, yeah, that's a spoiler for the ending. Thanks for that. That's true. Spoiler from a cartoon from 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
I've been wanting to introduce the producer lady to that series. I wish they'd make new Monster Rancher games. I think it'd work perfect for, like, 3DS. So instead of using discs, you could do something with a 3DS camera, like the did of Spirit Camera, you know? There is a new Digimon game coming out.
Did they release a new one? Hold on, let me see. I want to
say
not too long ago.
Digimon, and honestly, Digimon could go into its own discussion, actually, but that's just I didn't want to open the anime thing, but I always feel that like everyone always ignores the Monster Rancher cartoon. I really liked the Monster Rancher cartoon.
Okay, the last one that came out was for the DS. So it could be technically possibly can do another 3DS one. Anyways.
There was a new Monster Rancher game?
Yeah, in 2008.
Son of a bitch.
Anyways, let's go back a little bit. Like, wait. You know, even farther, I don't know if any of us were born or even know about these shows, but who are like...
You're gonna bring up Pole Position? No, I may have been just born when Pole Position came out.
Well, not just Pole Position, but like everything in the Saturday morning Supercade.
The only one I remember, because they played the reruns of it when I was really, really young, was Pac-Man, and I actually enjoyed the Pac-Man cartoon. As horribly violent as it was, I really enjoyed it. I was also like 3, but I enjoyed Pac-Man too.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's basically Saturday Supercade was basically they took all these like unrelated cartoons, unrelated video games of the early 80s, and they put it into the game. It was basically Frogger, Donkey Kong Jr., Hubert, and Pitfall.
Oh man, I don't know any of those cartoons. Like I thought Pac-Man was part of that set.
Oh, Pac-Man was his own separate thing though.
Okay.
But actually, oddly enough, that cartoon was actually good. I remember actually like looking for some like one episode. I was like, it didn't hold up, but it wasn't like horribly offensive.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing I looked forward to back in the day with Cartoon Network when they used to do this is they used to get like every Hanna-Barbera, etc. cartoon Christmas special ever, and they would play them over like the week leading into Christmas. And the one I'd always look for was the Pac Christmas, or Santa Claus Comes to Pac-Land, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Because it's so cheesy and stupid, but it's just like fun. It's just this like little nugget of memory that I have of the Pac-Man cartoon and just enjoying how cheesy and stupid that universe is.
Well, no, it actually is pretty good, all things considered. Even though it makes no sense whatsoever. But then again, too, when you try to make sense of this, try to make sense of the complicated story of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is I've watched a few episodes on YouTube of the Saturday Super Arcade TV show. If you really don't like, Scrappy Doo, don't watch the Donkey Kong Jr. segments. That's all I gotta tell you that right now.
Is it the same voice actor, or?
Yeah, same voice actor, same mannerisms, everything.
Oh man, that would get annoying fast. But the segments are shorter though for that, aren't they? They're like little.
Yeah, they're like 5-10 minutes. They're like 5-10 minute shorts.
Yeah, so it's
and
kind
then
of like watching the shorts during when they had the DC Nation on Cartoon Network or whatever. It's probably really similar to that. Which means there's ones you're really gonna look forward to, and there's ones where you're like, oh god, again.
They also alternated between Q*bert with Space Ace and Kangaroo. And I do also remember too, they also had one.
Oh, we are reaching the hour and 40-minute mark, so we're basically at the end of the show. Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this trek down memory lane. I hope we've given you some cartoons you might want to go check out. And by the way, some of the stuff is on Netflix, so if you're a Netflixer, you have no excuse.
Super Mario Super Show, that's my recommendation.
Yeah. And I don't think Hulu has most of those shows. I think most of them are on Netflix. But okay. As always, you can learn everything you need to know about Scarlet Rhapsody-related shows and products on scarlet-rhapsody.com. And if you want to know more and keep up with all our awesome updates from us here at Secret Stage, you can check out our Facebook page, Secret Stage Games. You can go to our YouTube, Secret Stage Games as well. You can check us out on Twitter, SR_Secret Stage. Follow us and share our links with your friends. And of course, if you're not watching this on Twitch, you can always check out our Twitch streams on Saturdays and Sundays, and hopefully the occasional random week one, which you need to be part of our Twitter to see when we do the occasional weekly one. We are twitch.tv/Secret Stage. So there's plenty of ways to keep up with us, get all our cool game news and snarkiness. So until next time, this is Jared for Miguel, Ramses, and Background Becky, and even Baby Miguel, who talked to there in the beginning, saying, game over, and winners don't use drugs.
And it's a secret to everyone.
Yes, it is.
Yay! I got it.
You did.
We're supposed to do that.
I can edit. I can cut the dead air out on my part.
Picky gaming daddy right here, man. Yeah.